Hey, hi all. In this session, we are going to look at a basic programming construct in C Sharp. So, what are these basic programming constructs we have in C Sharp, and what is the syntax of these constructs? So, basically, when you look at C Sharp programming, we have some basic, programming constructs. Those are also known as conditional statements. Okay, basic programming constructs is nothing but conditional statements. So these conditional statements are going to be categorized three types. So before to that, what is a statement? Conditional statement. Statement is nothing but group of characters or group of operands and operators, right? Let us say like a plus b equal to or a plus b whole square equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab or like sum equal to a plus b or sum equal 10 plus 20. All these are expressions or statements, correct? A statement that can be executed based on a condition is known as conditional statement. Okay, the statement is often, if you want to define me in the programming part or programming concepts, the statement is often a block of code. Okay, so the statement is a block of code. If the statement is executing based on a condition, it can be known as conditional statements. Okay, so uh, there are there are several basic programming constructs available in C sharp. C sharp. Those are known as those are known as conditional statement. Okay, a statement, right, is often a block of code. Okay, a statement that can be executed based on conditions is known as, right, conditional statements. Conditional statements. So if the statement is going to execute, right, based on condition, then the statement is known as conditional statements. Okay, example, if A greater than B, then do some action. Console dot write line A is big, correct? Else console dot write line of B is big. See here, this is what my condition, right? If the condition is true, then this line of code is going to execute. If it is false, this condition, then it is going to execute this one. This is what conditional statements. Okay. So conditional statements are divided into three types. They are, the first one is conditional branching. Conditional branching. Second one is conditional loop. Third one is jump statements. Okay. So conditional branching is nothing but, right? It focuses basically on if and switch statements, right? The main mechanism of this conditional branching is executing or branching to different code depending on a condition is true or not. Okay. Conditional branching means, right, executing code or, right, branching, executing code or branching to different code depending on condition, right, is true or false. Clear? Conditional branching means executing code or branching to different code depending on a condition, whether it is true or false. Okay. So C sharp having two conditional branching statements, two conditional branching statements. One is if statement, another one is switch statement. Okay. When you talk about if statement allows you to test whether or not a specific condition is true. Okay. So the if statement allows you to test whether or not a specific condition is met. Syntax is if condition, right? Statements, else statements. This is simple if else, right? There is another syntax like if condition statements, else if condition, right? Statements, and finally else statements. Okay, this is if else, if else if. Okay, and the first one is just if. Okay, so for example, like if you look at here, like if a greater than b, this line, else this line, right? Similarly, you can use if else similar to condition, you mention it here, and then it goes to else part if both are false. Okay, next we'll see this switch statement. Okay, the switch statement compares two logical expressions. It compares two logical expressions. The syntax is, switch, okay, and expression, parenthesis open and close, and here you need to give value here, switch case value colon, and here statement, and then immediately you give break. Okay, so like that you give n number of cases, n number of cases, and default we have default, and here statements, right? This also going to have break. So like that, it will execute case by case. If all cases fall, then it comes to default. C# program perform an operation of user choice based on the cases. Okay. And next one is conditional looping statements, right? Conditional loop statements. The name itself saying that loop statements. Okay. So C# provides, right, 4 loop statements that execute block of code repeatedly until condition met true. Okay. So C# provides 4 loops, 4 loops, right? Allows you to execute, allows you to execute block of code, right, repeatedly until a condition, until a certain condition is met. Okay, they are, first one is for while, do while, for each. These are the 4 loops we have in it. So if you want to explain me loops in the real time with a real time example, okay, if you want to travel by your own vehicle, right, you should know how much petrol available in your vehicle, and you know how much distance to travel, right? So using for loop, right, you know the right initial value, correct, and then you know the condition, that is how much petrol, and then you know number of iterations. If you want to travel in flight, you should buy a ticket, then only you are eligible to enter into the flight. That's what while loop means. First satisfy the condition, then proceed further to execute code. And coming to the do while, right? It is something, if you want to travel in bus, you can board, right? You can board, right? On board to the bus, then buy the ticket first. That means first it will, enter to the bus, then buy the ticket. The do while execute the code, then it will check the condition, right? So for each almost similar to for, okay. Only the thing is conditions are different. If you look at for loop, right? For loop, syntax is for initialization, that is how much petrol you have, right? Correct. Then condition, that means how many kilometers you want to travel, and then increment or decrement, and then close parenthesis. Inside of this block of code, block of statements you are going to mention. Okay. And similarly for while loop, okay, syntax is while condition, because I need to first get the flight ticket, then only travel, right? Here I have block of statements. Okay. And coming to do while, okay, syntax is do, and here block of statements, and close, and here I'm going to check condition, whether my condition is true or false. That means once enter into the bus, then I'll buy a ticket. Okay. That means you're already in the board, right? Already executed statements one time. Okay. And for each is, right, syntax is, this is similar to for loop, but thing is, it is extension for loop. This loop executes block of statements for each member of array. Okay. Indexes of elements are not needed for this loop. Just the current element of array available inside the loop. For each, okay, data type, variable name, right, in array. Okay. Open, close, and here you write down block of code, block of statements. Clear? So for each is extension for loop. This executes block of statements for each member of an array, right? Indexes of elements is not required for this loop, just the current element, and right, with the proper data type, right, should be available inside of the loop. Okay. So these are something about a conditional statements or conditional loops. What is the next one? Jump statements. Okay. So in .NET, we have several jump statements. Go to, break, continue, right? Return. Okay. So go to means it go to this, like it transfers the control to some other part of the program. Okay. Break statement transfers control to the statement that follows the terminated statement. That means it will come out of loop. Okay. Continue means it is skip over the execution part of the loop and then continue. Return statement terminates the execution of the method in which it appears and returns control to the calling method. Okay. Let me try. Go to statement transfer control to some other part of program. And whereas break statement transfer control to the statement that follows the terminated statement, if any. Okay. Continue keyword, right? Continue statement. Okay. Continue statement terminates, continue statement is used to skip over the execution part of the loop. It will just skip one loop, right? One iteration from the loop. Return statement, right? Terminates the execution of the method in which it appears and returns control to the calling method. That's all. So jump statements we use to transfer control from one point to another point in the program due to some specified code while executing the program. We have go to, break, continue, return. Okay. So these are the basic programming constructors you have in C#, right? And every conditional statement have a different syntax and the feature wherein you just use this based on desired requirement or based on the context. Okay. Thanks for listening this video. Please subscribe this channel for more videos. Thank you.